Hi everyone, welcome to Cappy's Vegan Kitchen. Welcome back. I hope you enjoy the channel. If so, click that subscribe button. Today we're making tofu corned beef for a tofu Reuben sandwich. I'm also going to show you how to make a quick and easy Thousand Island dressing that's vegan. And we're going to have some polenta fries on the side. So we have a lot going on today. You need some extra firm, extra. The firmer the tofu, the better. I like the super one. This is what I could find. It's organic. You don't have to have organic. And all you want to do is take it out of the package, drain it, and you want to just pat it down. You don't need to press it at all. It's pretty much already pressed. That's why I like it. And I have a cheese slicer. Yeah, it's called the cheese slicer. We don't eat cheese, obviously, but I bought it because it's the perfect size for cutting the tofu into thin slices. So we're going to do that. We're going to cut this tofu into thin slices, which is super easy. And I'm going to cut the rest of the tofu like that, so it kind of resembles the thinness of lunch meat or corned beef. Once the tofu is cut into thin slices, and some are smaller than others because at the end it breaks up, that's fine. It doesn't need to be uniform. I have one shallot that I minced and diced up, and I'm putting it inside a pan. You want to make sure that it has sides on it and a top. And we're just going to let that heat up a little bit. And while that's heating up, we have 1.5 teaspoons of garlic powder, 1.5 teaspoons of onion powder, 1.5 teaspoons of caraway seeds, and 1.5 teaspoons of dill. We're going to put those seasonings into the pan on top of those onions, or shallots, I mean. And we're going to just stir it about a little bit so that sweat and those shallots breaks down and mixes with those yummy shallots. And then I'm going to add just a little bit of dry mustard powder and a pinch of pepper. And that's it. Now, this is the magic ingredients. I have 3/4 cup of pickle juice. Came directly out of a jar. So we buy fresh dill pickles. So you're going to notice there's some garlic in here and some dill. It doesn't matter. If you buy the Vlasic kind, it makes no difference whatsoever. So you need 3/4 of a cup of pickle juice and 3/4 of a cup beet juice. And you can get that from a jar or a can or a bottle. Now, you're going to want it to start to boil. And the minute it starts to boil, we're going to add in all of these slices of tofu. And we're going to make sure you bring it to a boil. And okay, so see how it's not covered? So we want to make sure it's covered. So to make up for that, I'm going to add a little vegetable broth. We could have added more pickle juice or beet juice. This works fine. Or if you don't have vegetable broth, you can do water. It's fine. It just needs to be covered so it gets all in there. Okay. Now we want to move it around a little bit in here. We want to bring it to a boil. And then what you're going to do is you're going to put a top on it, and you're going to put it down to simmer, and you're going to let this cook until all of the fluid dissipates and it all soaks up into that tofu. And we'll be right back to make some dressing. While the tofu corned beef is cooking, I'm going to show you how to make some Thousand Island dressing to go on the sandwich. This is also a recipe that's included in my YouTube videos, but it goes with the sandwich, so I'm giving you a refresher. I have 1/2 cup of cashews. If you don't want to use cashews, you can use tofu, you could use white beans, you could use sunflower seeds. If you use the tofu, you want to reduce water by 1/2. I have 1/2 cup of water. Now, if you do not have a good blender, you can boil these cashews for 10 minutes, rinse them, and put them in the blender, but you still have to add the water, obviously, but it will soften your cashews up for you. I have a good blender, so I don't need to do that. I have a half a cup of ketchup. For those of you who are panicking saying, oh, half a cup of ketchup, there's too much sugar in there, there's too much salt, use sugar-free ketchup. You can use tomato paste instead. You can use salt-free. You do not have to use ketchup. I have 2 tablespoons of maple syrup. You can also use agave. You could use a date. If you use a date, or you have to put more water in because it's more solid. I have a 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar. And then I have a pinch of salt and pepper. And that's it. Now, we do have pickles that are cut up. You can also use pickle relish, a half a cup, and that is added in after. You don't want to blend it because then it won't be chunky. This would be more like French dressing, and you add the pickles, so then you get Thousand Island dressing. Oh, it'd help if I plugged it in though. That would be helpful. That would be a blooper. Our corned beef, how it's going, corned beef tofu. As you can see, it's starting to dissipate and it's turning pink. That's what we want it to do. Now we have our polenta for the fries. You can make your own polenta in a pan. All you do is take dried polenta, put water in it, and you put it in a pan and you cook it. But they already make it for you and it's no different. So this is a tube of polenta. You can find this in the grocery store. And what we're going to do is make it into fries. I'm going to get a bigger knife. So first thing you want to do is you want to cut the polenta down the line, straight in the middle, and it's in half. Then you want to do it again. I'm making steak fries. You can make them a little thinner if you prefer, but that means you have to adjust the cooking time. So you want to do that on both halves. There we go. Polenta is sticky. If you've never worked with it before, it's sticky. So what's beautiful about it being sticky is you don't have to put any oil or spray your pan or do anything like that. Instead, all you have to do is add the seasoning and it sticks directly to the polenta. So as you can see, I've cut it into 3s and then we're gonna make fries. That's what you do to each piece. So you get about 6 fries out of each 1/4 of the polenta. Okay, we're gonna season the fries. You can season them with anything that you want. I'm gonna use some garlic powder and you just sprinkle it onto it sticks, it's perfect, onto the polenta fries. A little salt. And Paul likes pepper. That's pepper. You can put dill on these. You can make them Cajun. You can seriously do whatever you want. You can put dill on them. Anything goes. Now we're just going to set these aside because the tofu is still cooking. And I'm going to end up putting the tofu corned beef into a rolled up sandwich. We're going to put it in a pan to cook it. And while that's cooking, we're going to cook the fries. So we're just setting them aside right now, just prepping them, getting them ready to go. Okay, what we're going to do is we have some whole grain lavash bread. And what we're going to do is we're going to take out some of these pieces of this beautiful tofu and put it on the lavash bread. And look at Paul stealing some. And Paul likes tomato. So even though tomato is typically not on a Reuben, we're going to put some tomato on there. And some sauerkraut. You need to make sure you squeeze the sauerkraut out because it's very, very wet. And you don't want it to break your bread. And then we're going to put the Thousand Island dressing on top of it all because you don't want your bread to break. You can also do this on regular bread. You do not have to use this on lavash bread, but we like it because it's oil-free and it's delicious. So it's kind of like a burrito, and we're going to pop it in the pan, and we're going to grill it in the pan while we're cooking our polenta fries. Our polenta fries are going in the air fryer at 350 degrees for 15 minutes, or in the oven for 30 minutes at 400 degrees. The polenta fries are done. Perfect. and so are the sandwiches. So I'm going to take this out of the pan. You could also put this in the air fryer and cook it, but I was doing that, so I want to do this at the same time. This took exactly the same amount of time, 15 minutes. I just rolled it over. I cooked it on low, and it just makes it crispy and warm on the inside and outside. So I'm going to remove this from the pan, cut it in half, and we're going to serve Paul up a plate to taste. Taste test, but first, just so you know, to store this, you want to put it in a container with all the remaining juice that's in there so it can absorb some more, so you can make more sandwiches tomorrow.
Can I eat now?
You can eat now.
I'm going to start with the polenta fry, I think.
Okay.
I'm going to use your Thousand Island as dip.
Okay. Dip away.
Oh, wow. You kind of got like a fry texture on the outside.
Yeah.
I dip that too?
You can dip
No, I'm
whatever
going to
you
do a first bite like as is.
Dip away.
Mmm. Whoa.
You kind of need a napkin.
That is good. Yeah, I need a napkin for sure. It's
Okay,
juicy.
good stuff.
Oh, excellent. Wow, is that good?
All right.
I'm glad there's leftovers.
It's a keeper. We'll see you next time. Bye.